to the knighthood of Boreas. Whether you choose to resist me or not, I shall set right the injustices of this world. In the name of the blood-stained knight.
Guess they're retreating for now.
So that Wolf of the North look-alike, that was Andrias? But why would he be leading the Wild Hunt? And why was he talking about the Bloodstained Knight? Ugh, forget that. We can save the details for later. He was the enemy boss, right? Are we just gonna let him get away?
There's no point chasing after him. We've crossed blades already, and it ended in a stalemate. Right now, there's nothing we could do about him. True. We're still not certain of his true identity, but whether he's a god corrupted by the Abyss or a legendary knight, killing him might be just about possible, especially now that you're here. The difficult part is, we can't kill him right now.
Huh? What do you mean? Is he immortal or something?
No. Judging from our skirmishes so far, I don't think he's got any special abilities of that caliber. Nor does he have the ridiculous level of power wielded by the Five Sinners. But, compared to Rerir, our current foe clearly has a better understanding of how to exploit Nodcry to his advantage, particularly when it comes to Andrias' remnant soul. Exactly. Sounds like you realize what the crux of the issue is. I managed to cut off a sample from our foe, which Albedo and Durin are analyzing as we speak. Meanwhile, our other allies should be making their way home from their own battles by now. Let's discuss this further when they're back. We still have some big challenges ahead before this expedition can finally be declared a victory.
The meeting's probably gonna be in the biggest tent, right? Looks like a bunch of people are there already. Why don't we go chat with them?
Hey, good to see you again. Oh, Boss Sneff asked me to pass on a message. She went to see Lauma and Columbina at the Frostmoon Scions. Apparently, there haven't been any changes to that space the Rahir of Solnari's in.
That means the recent Wild Hunt attacks have nothing to do with Rerir, right? Whew, that's a relief. Paimon doesn't fancy facing him again.
They're keeping a close watch on it just in case. With so many moon experts on the case, we're in pretty safe hands, huh? Oh yeah, Lauma and Columbina asked me to pass on a message too. Focus on the enemy you are facing. The moon will protect you all. Huh, you know something? These Knights of Favonius are paying me a pretty nice sum to deliver a few simple messages. Oh, Varka's a generous guy.
I won't let you down.
Short distance propulsion module on cooldown. 15 minutes until next departure. Switching to chat mode. Hello there, Paimon, traveler. Varka placed a sizable order with the Clink Clink Krumkake craft shop. Ino is hard at work producing the strategic reserve, while I am handling the deliveries. Secondly, I am also here to attend the meeting in her place.
Huh? Flint's! Paimon thought the Lightkeeper's rep would be Iqloa or Nikita.
You're quite right. However, Itlua and Nikita are both busy organizing the Ratniki's region-wide response to the recent attacks. And since I'm well acquainted with everyone else here, I was the one they recommended to attend the meeting. Sometimes you don't get a choice when there might be consequences down the line.
Hey, Honorary Knight. Looks like pretty much everyone's here. Albedo and Durin are just wrapping up their analysis. You want to wait for them here? Great. While we're waiting, could you update me on the situation in Mondstadt? And that's where things stand. The Wild Hunt is no longer under the Reikir of Solnari's control, but it has been reborn from the ashes and is now launching widespread attacks. Intel from the Frostmoon Scions and the Curatorium of Secrets corroborates this. No disturbances have been detected in the space where Rere resides. What we are facing here is a completely new foe.
Summarizing current situation. To confirm, the present leader of the Wild Hunt is the creature resembling a wolf. Andrius, god of the North Wind.
More precisely, it's the external will that has seized control of Andrius' spirit, namely Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. I'm completely lost. Isn't Roland some Mondstadter from like 500 years ago? How'd he suddenly get wrapped up with a god from 1,000 years in the past and the present-day Wild Hunt?
Allow us to explain that part. Are you familiar with compensation mechanisms? When an organism sustains damage, relevant tissues will undergo changes to offset the loss of function. For example, when one kidney is damaged, the other will be strengthened to compensate. Or when a main artery is blocked, the collateral vessels become more active. Similarly, when the Wild Hunt lost their leader, the Abyss harnessed the memories that flow throughout the ley lines to fashion a new one, fit for the present circumstances. That new leader is a mirror image of Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Right. No matter how strong the compensation is, it will never quite match the functionality of the original organ. The Roland replica can't possibly imitate Rere's overwhelming power, nor his ability to disguise himself as others. So, the Abyss made use of the connection between Roland and Boreas to compensate for this lack of power.
The replica corrupted and took control of Andrius as he slumbered by the bank of Amsvartnir, ultimately manifesting as the giant beast that you all witnessed. However, exactly why the Abyss chose Roland to mimic, and indeed how it was able to do so, remains unclear.
I guess he must have gotten caught up with the Abyss or Nodcry somehow during his wanderings through Teyvat. But we can keep those questions on the back burner.
Okay, Paimon gets all that, but what did you mean when you said we can't kill him right now?
You can't kill him right now because a dead god may prove more dangerous than a living one. From intelligence gathered during the expedition, we have reason to believe that the power released when a god is felled can have catastrophic consequences for us mortals. Worse still, the wrath that remains after a god's passing becomes a source of endless turmoil. Once god remains contaminate the land, they will persist for thousands of years. This land has already been ravaged by the Wild Hunt. If we add god remains to the mix, it'd be like adding salt to an open wound, placing everyone who lives here in perilous danger.
Query. While I can indeed find records of disasters caused by god remains in my database, there also appear to be cases of gods dying naturally with no ill effects. In that land, the passing of the Pyro Archon's flame is a common occurrence throughout history, and even the part of Andrius who remains in Mondstadt has experienced death once before, has he not?
Great question. Glad you asked. Honorary Knight, you said Lupus Boreas gave you a token to pass on to me? Please, present it now. It should help explain things faster. Come forth, Boreas!
This form has come to the end of its time. I'm afraid I can accompany you no further on your journey. My soul will fall into silence, and my power will flow into the ley lines of this land. Perhaps this is all that a wolf can hope to do for humankind. Do not grieve for me, for this is the end I have chosen. Instead, remember that one day, your wandering too must come to an end. Where and when shall that be? A final wish before I slumber. Sing me a song. That melody you so often hummed in the taverns.
You saw it too. You must have keen powers of perception. Not that it surprises me. That was Boreas's final thoughts before merging with the ley lines. It's the reason Mondstadt remains unharmed by his god remains. In his final moments, he made a choice to give everything he was to the ley lines. All to protect Mondstadt from harm.
Sounds like Andreas spent thousands of years searching for his place in the world, too.
Yes. And now our task is to return the answer he found, the decision he made, to Andreas' heart. Only then can he break free from the corruption and control of the Abyss, and make that decision once more.
I see. I would say that planting thoughts inside the mind of a god sounds a little far-fetched, but since it was his own wish to begin with, it sounds feasible to me.
Wait, we already have a perfect solution? Then why are we even having this meeting? Let's go do this thing!
Ha ha ha. If only it were that simple. Unfortunately, this one thought alone is unlikely to be powerful enough to break through the Abyss's control and reach Andreas' heart. We need to find a way to make the thought within this sword stronger and more resilient.
For now, Boreas needs all his remaining strength to fight against the abyssal corruption to Mondstadt's ley lines. He can't afford to send us any more of his power. However, since his form was unstable during his journey with the first Knight of Boreas, many wolf spirit fragments were left behind along the way. If we can collect those fragments, we can use them to strengthen the decision to merge with the ley lines.
So we need to retrace his steps and look for random fragments? But they could be anywhere between Nodcry and Mondstadt. It'll be like looking for a needle in a haystack.
You don't need to worry about that. There's a few fragments left to gather in Nodcry, but apart from that, most of them are already inside this sword. I've been collecting them during the whole expedition.
Huh? Wait, really?
I mean, it's an expedition, not a stroll in the park. Each step of the way, we've been hard at work planning for every possible contingency. Not just the wild hunt in the Abyss, but ancient gods remaining in Nodcry.
Sounds like this plan was a long time in the making. It's almost as if you foresaw the future.
As a matter of fact, I did. I caught a glimpse of fate's reflection. But I can't take credit for it. It was all thanks to the help of a few friends. Still, all I foresaw was that an abyssal calamity was brewing in the north. Had I known more, we could have saved a lot of energy. Instead, we've had to make best guesses, prepare for every possible scenario. If all that preparation went to waste, all the better for it. But anything that proved useful, we knew we'd be grateful for down the line. Sure is. Just one crucial step remains. We need to gather the last few wolf spirit fragments scattered around Nodcry, and use them to make the thought within this sword as strong as it could possibly be. According to what Boreas told me before we left Mondstadt, his form was at its most unstable at the beginning of his journey. That means The fragments here should be the most powerful ones. But of course, we've been tied up fighting battles since the day we set foot in Outcry. First with the Wild Hunt, then with the Doctor. So, it wasn't until recently that we were finally able to confirm the status of the Wolf Spirit fragments. We now know there are 3 left to find.
Okay, so 3 more mini expeditions to go.
I managed to gather 1 fragment before Roland reappeared. I also have a confirmed location for the second, which I'll take care of in short order. As for the 3rd fragment, we've identified a general search area to focus on, but we'll need all hands on deck to pinpoint the exact location. The final snag is that since our foe is a replica of Roland, he too will be aware of Andrias' history. He's sure to try and sabotage our plans by any means at his disposal. So everyone needs to bring their A game.
With our foe being from Mondstadt, it's our duty as Mondstadters to defeat him.
And since the Wild Hunt is involved, the Lightkeepers will provide their full support.
The Clink Clink Krumkake craft shop will also help in any way we can.
So what do they need me here for? Wait, I think maybe I signed a contract at some point. Didn't exactly scrutinize it, though. I mean, who actually reads those things anyway, right?
Ah, great. Knew I could count on you all. Lastly, our friend from the Curatorium of Secrets will provide intel and relay battlefield communications. Looking at you, Yehoda.
So, you'll be darting back and forth across the battlefield, dodging the Wild Hunt and the shadow of an ancient god. I'm impressed by your courage, Miss Yehoda.
Rating for Yehoda updated. Higher quality ingredients will be used to prepare your future meals.
Darn it! I should have known this payday wouldn't come that easy.
I'll deal with the second Wolf Spirit fragment, which we already know the location of. The moment you make any progress with Fragment 3, be sure to give me an update. Traveler, could you join me in retrieving Fragment 2? I have a feeling that your unique constitution might come in handy. All right, time is of the essence. Let's move out, people. Dismissed!
Didn't you say Fragment 2 was supposed to be right here? Where the heck is it?
Seems like we've run into a slight hindrance. Can I leave this to you, Honorary Knight? Traveler, Paimon, when this is all over, I'm gonna invite you around for a drink of...
Whoa, whoa! Stop thinking about Mondstadt's wine and keep your head in the game! You can't be daydreaming about alcohol before a battle!
Huh? Well, all right, just trying to lift our spirits a little. You want to see some photos I took of me and the knights before the expedition, maybe?
Shut up, shut up, shut up! Can't we please just focus on finding the wolf spirit fragment?
I once got Boreas to explain to me how he stores his soul inside objects. All I need to do is transfer it to my sword. Just like back at the camp, but this time, you'd best step back a bit, just in case.
So, you're saying you don't know how to love people, and you don't understand human love either.
Why do you laugh?
Sorry, I just think the fact you're ruminating on this is all the proof you need that you have love in your heart. I have a funny feeling that by the time this journey ends, you'll have found your own answer to the question of how to love.
No, you're wrong. There is no redemption at the end of this path. Even if I am stained black with blood, my conscience will remain as white as snow. If pledging allegiance to the Abyss is the only way to sever the injustice of fate, then I shall serve in its name.
Oh, sure enough, this place has been corrupted by Roland's will. Whew. I'm fine. I was prepared for this. It wasn't enough to pose a serious threat. We got here just in time. The fragment hasn't been fully corrupted yet. Assuming we can undo the damage, it should still be usable. Purifying the abyssal corruption would definitely be a safe approach. But that's not the only reason I wanted you to come. Could you try reversing the corruption? Not purifying it, exactly, but separating out the Roland part from the wolf spirit.
So, keep the Roland part intact as well as the wolf spirit part? Why would you want to do that?
Firstly, to test whether it's possible. And secondly, to view Roland's memories. As they say, know thyself, know thy enemy. Understanding our foe is our surest path to defeating him. Let me think. How was it explained to me? Ah, yes. Focus on a single thought within the 1,000 winds. Capture that unique wisp before it blows away. Ha 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 ha! Actually, neither do I.
Sounds like something a certain tone-deaf bard would come up with when he can't think of anything meaningful to say. Wait, don't tell Paimon that's what actually happened.
I thought it might mean something to you. Never mind. I'll explain it in more human terms. Traveler, when you were in Natland, you went fishing for ancient names, correct? If I'm not mistaken, the Night Kingdom was like a river flowing with concepts, and you were trying to capture the concept belonging to a particular ancient name. I'm thinking the same basic principles should apply here.
Okay, but back then, we had a boat and a net. This time, we don't have anything at all.
This wolf spirit fragment is like a puddle compared to the Night Kingdom. No need for a boat. As for a net, this is what I've heard.
Thoughts and emotions are like interwoven threads. They can create a net, or they can create a rope. They can separate love from hatred, and they can bind objects and events together. Thought is the anchor for a being's existence, through which emotions are drawn forth.
Also, we barely know anything about Roland. How are we supposed to use thoughts to anchor him?
Well, maybe you could try this.
What is it? It looks old and tattered.
It's an unsent letter, written by the wolf pup Rostam, Knight of Boreas, from 500 years ago. It was meant for his disciple, the White Knight Roland. After Rostam lost his life in the Abyssal Calamity, Roland left Mondstadt to wander to Vat. Grandmaster Arundelen had wanted to deliver this letter to him, but trying to track Roland down was like chasing a shadow. He never did find him. And so this letter has been sitting at the Knights of Favonius headquarters ever since.
Quite the antique, then. But how exactly is it supposed to anchor Roland?
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure.
Hey, what happened to Mr. Plans for every contingency? You're just making this up as you go along.
What can I say? Some people like to wait till they've got all their ducks in a row before taking the first step, but I prefer to dive on in and plan as I go. But anyway, don't they say that poetry and letters were humanity's earliest means of expressing their thoughts? Can't hurt to give it a try, surely. Whoa, it actually worked?
You really are making this up as you go along!
So the assimilation of souls really can be reversed, just like he said.
If what you say is true, the monsters I've slain, the justice I have sought to uphold, for mortals to escape this tragic fate, there's only one path. A great and ancient kingdom was wrongfully cursed, turning its inhabitants into monsters. The code of chivalry tolerates not such injustice. If Abyss be thy name, I pledge to you my loyalty.
And that is where the blood-stained knight's tale came to an end. With that, he bade his humanity farewell. I dare say you must find it quite ironic, Knight of Boreas.
That I... Dainsleif? No. Bore a striking resemblance, but that wasn't him. While we gazed into the past, he was gazing right back at us. Could it be? So that's what happened. After leaving Mondstadt and wandering the land, Roland ventured underground and saw a revelation from the Visionary. Once he had learned of Conria's fate, he saw the gods' judgment as the greatest injustice. So he surrendered himself to the Abyss, giving them his knowledge, his power, his everything. That's why the Abyss can replicate him.
Uh-oh. Does this mean we have to take on the Visionary this time?
I'm inclined to agree. If our enemy could see the future, both the Wild Hunt and Roland would be acting with far more lethal precision. But even without the Visionary's input, Roland still has an intel advantage we can't afford to underestimate. Every minion of the Wild Hunt serves as Roland's eyes and ears. We need to think one step ahead if we want to outmaneuver him. And on that note, I have a plan I want to discuss with you. Well, the fewer people who know, the less likely it is to get leaked. Besides, it wasn't a fully formed plan back then. That about covers it. Sorry to ask so much of you again. No plan is free of risks. At least this one actually gives us a shot at fully eliminating the danger posed by this ancient god. Surely that's got to make the risk worth taking. If I fail, Anselm and Albedo can take the reins. Not to mention we still have Jean in Mondstadt.
Oh, there has to be another way! Like a backup plan?
If only there were. But I don't think our enemy will give us enough time to find one.
Hey! Are you guys done here yet?
Ah, Yehoda! Yes, we've successfully retrieved the Wolf Spirit fragment here. Any progress with Fragment 3?
Nope. Ugh, it's a total disaster. More Wild Hunt monsters than I've seen in my whole life. We need backup urgently.
Come on, we're out of time. You'll just have to trust me on this one. What can I say? I'm not the Grand Master for nothing. I'm counting on you, Honorary Knight. Fill me in. What's the situation?
We ran into resistance almost as soon as we set off. Albedo said we should split into 2 teams and continue searching while he and the others kept the Wild Hunt occupied.
Good call. Locating the Wolf Spirit fragment is our key objective. I would have made the same decision.
Well, it seems the enemy figured as much too. Now, both search teams are in big trouble. Oh, I brought a map. This should make things clearer. Before we ran into trouble, this is the search area we decided on. The 2 teams are holed up here and here. They should have a clear idea of the fragment's location by now.
But the Wild Hunt is stopping them from relaying messages back, right? Do we have any more troops available to provide backup?
We can't spare troops from any of the fronts right now. That just leaves us with,
The logistics company is standing by.
Hanefa!
Designated drop point reached. Initiating situation report. The logistics company was assisting Aino with the production of the strategic reserve, but after learning of the situation on the front line, they requested to be dispatched immediately. They are currently nearby awaiting orders.
Amazing. Just in the nick of time.
Hey, seeing as you can fly and all, shouldn't you be the one out here delivering messages?
I regret to say that without the workshop's catapult, and with my short-distance propulsion module on cooldown, I will only be able to return to the battlefield after another 5 minutes. Please, keep up the good work, Yehoda. The logistics company has very limited provisions, only enough for a single battle. Which team should they support?
Both. Once one team has been rescued, the remaining forces will be free to support the other. We'll move out immediately. Yehoda, keep up the good work with the comms.
Sure thing. Leave it to me.
Something's not right. The Wild Hunt's offensive doesn't seem to be getting any weaker as the battle goes on. Are they getting reinforcements from somewhere? Don't get dragged into the enemy's rhythm. Logistics company, scout out the area. Look for terrain we can use to our advantage.
Yes, sir. Reporting in, sir. We've identified viable sites for deploying explosives.
Good. Wait for my signal.
Logistics company, deploy!
Traveler, thank goodness you're here.
Be careful. There's no end to these monsters. They keep coming from that myth, wave after wave.
Just as I thought. Well, they're about to get a shock to the system. We'll wipe them out faster than they can replenish their numbers. We just have to hold on until the logistics company is ready.
Is that the signal to say they're ready?
It's showtime! Fall back! Yes, right. Up the ante! on me! Ready? Fire! The enemy has sustained heavy casualties. Should be a while before they're strong enough to pose a real threat again.
Brave knights, on behalf of the Lightkeepers, I thank you for your assistance.
There's no need to be so formal. When it comes to the Abyss, we're all in this together. Now, please tell me everything you've learned.
Very well. We've narrowed down the search area for the final fragment to this zone here.
That's not exactly very narrow.
We split the search between us and the Knights. Maybe they'll be able to narrow it down further?
Either way, I was about to go lend them a hand next anyway. Can I...
It would be our pleasure, Mr. Varka.
We've run right through our supplies. We'll stay here and deal with any wild hunt that tries to stage a comeback. Now that they've lost their numerical advantage, they're no match for us. Focus on supporting the other team.
Grandmaster! Honorary Knight! Thank goodness you're here.
Be careful. There's no end to these monsters. However many we kill, more keep coming.
They've had us penned in so far, but now you're here. Maybe we can try getting to the source, which is hidden in the mist. That way, we should be able to cut off the Wild Hunt's reinforcements.
Oh, yeah? Then we'll leave that to you. Hey, everyone hear that? We need to hold the line. Time to give them a taste of the Knights of Favonius fighting spirit.
Yes, sir.
Try to keep up! Hey, they're running out of steam. Now's your chance.
Affirmative. Sorry to keep you waiting.
That's their source. It was hidden in the mist. If we just...
Knights of Favonius, charge!
Ooh, I'm glad that's finally over. Use this time to catch your breath and fill me in on everything you've learned.
Yes, sir. We've narrowed down the search area for the final fragment to this zone here.
Yes! Now it feels like we're finally closing in on our target.
I'll say. We're sure to face fierce resistance from the Wild Hunt, though. Do you still have the strength to keep fighting with us?
Absolutely. Good to go, Grandmaster.
Much obliged. All right, the target is just up ahead. Move out! The hiding in the mist trick again. These guys must be easily amused. You all know the drill. The Knights of Favonius will engage the enemy while the Lightkeepers dispel the mist. Everyone, follow my signals.
Yes, sir!
Lightkeepers, prepare to dispel the mist.
Knights of Favonius, charge!
This wild hunt doesn't know when to give up. Traveler!
Mr. Varka, leave this to us.
Just like last time. Only a Knight of Boreas can deal with a wolf spirit, right?
Don't underestimate us, Grandmaster. We can hold our own.
Ha! That's the spirit. Stay on your toes and make the Knights of Favonius proud. Either we all march back to Mondstadt together, or no one does. The final fragment is right there. Don't let me...
It seems you have collected them all, Knight of Boreas.
Yeah, and with no corrupted fragments or ambushes along the way. I have to commend your chivalry, Sir Roland.
A true knight does not resort to underhanded tactics. Were this body not a false one created by the Wild Hunt, nor would I countenance those monsters to taint our duel with their presence. If you need a moment to rest, take it. Victory will be mine, regardless of whether the path to it is the one I would wish for.
Save your breath! If you want to fight, let's fight!
As you wish. Then let us settle our unfinished duel, here and now.
Is everyone all right?
My granny fights better than these rookies. It's Egbert I'm worried about. You still alive?
For a moment there, I thought I might never taste the sweet wine of Mondstadt again.
Hey, stay put, you guys. Leave the rest to us.
Forget us. We can take care of ourselves.
You're the only one still standing. Honorary Knight, find the Grand Master.
We can't lose our Varka! Please! You have to find him!
You're holding back, Knight of Boreas. I can tell you do not wish to strike me down. This duel does no justice to the way of chivalry. I wield the power of a god, while you dare not swing your sword with true intent. Your plan is doomed to fail. How can a helpless lamb hope to tame the heart of a wolf, when the wolf has seen through the lamb's plan?
Ha ha ha! You're on to me already, huh?
Andrias's question, Boreas's answer, the means to bear a soul. I knew it all 500 years ago. Though the false path may be wide and welcoming, only destruction lies at its end. It is time to crush your futile hope! It's over. Your sword lies shattered. The wolf spirit and the thoughts you blindly placed your faith in have nowhere left to dwell. Join me and pledge your allegiance to the Abyss, Knight of Boreas. One day you will understand that the only righteous path for those of true virtue is the path of darkest truths.
For the next part, it's over to you, Outlander who caught the wind. The sword is unbroken, but I can't sense the wolf spirit. Looks like I'm no longer in reality. This must be a space built from the entangled consciousnesses of Boreas and Roland. There's no way back. And all that lies ahead is the wolf's maw. Huh. Guess the only way is through.
Here.
Huh? Here. A Favonius sword. Who left this here?
Lonely warrior. Take me to see him.
Huh?
No matter the epoch, the world is awash with corruption and injustice. I have aided the oppressed and righted many wrongs. I have slain sinners and delinquents. I have slaughtered tyrants and demons. But however mighty one's blade, before the great injustice of fate, a mere mortal can but bow their head. There is only one way to save them.
Who are you really trying to convince? On me! Is this the Farish?
The title of Boreas must find an heir. Here.
The scent that reeks of blood appears to be getting stronger. Looks like I can just jump right over these obstacles.
No matter the epoch, the world is awash with corruption and injustice. Even the most fearless hero cannot fight what fate has ordained. And even the holiest god cannot escape the shackles that bind them. Lupus Boreas, if you still harbor love for humanity, then you must surely know. There has only ever been one way to save them from injustice. Surrender to the Abyss.
Malicious lies! Stormwind!
Humph.
On me. Stormwind! Maria sweeping in! On me. Try to keep up! Stormwind! Charge! Stormwind!
My old friend.
This is not where your path ends. You must continue on.
This wind feels less than welcoming. I'd better take shelter. I can't hide from it!
You must deliver it.
Your path cannot end here.
You draw near to the heart of the wolf.
Even if you had an army of 10,000 men, in the end, you must face this fight alone. Lonely warrior. Step forward.
Is this the heart of the wolf? Roland!
After countless bloody battles, trials, tribulations, and hardships, I, with my mortal flesh and blade, attained power to rival that of the gods. But you know better than I that a mortal's prime is fleeting. In 5 years, maybe 10, age will snatch your strength. The power you take such pride in will fade to naught, disappearing like dust in the wind. Your fame will be as fleeting as firewood beneath the starry sky, lit at dusk, dead by dawn. Utterly insignificant.
Oh yeah? Be that as it may, the fires that burn down here blaze more brilliantly than the light of 1,000 stars.
They blaze for but a moment. 100 years from now, your earthly flame will be long snuffed out. And those you once illuminated will be left cowering in the cold and empty night.
Ha! No. They'll remember me in 100 years, just as I remember all of you from centuries ago. That's the thing about firewood. From the embers of a dying flame, a new fire arises, burning bigger and brighter than ever before.
A knight's duty is to save others, not demand things from them. How can one call themselves a knight while placing their hopes in generations to come?
Well, as long as I put an end to you here and now, I won't need to rely on anyone else. Now, show yourself, Roland!
Put an end to me? Your body and mind are already at the limit of what they can bear. It is only a matter of time before they yield and crumble. But if this is your final request... I shall do as you wish, Knight of Boreas.